Week 13 is here, and it's time for my 5 expectations for the week. Before we get into this upcoming week, let's look back at Week 12, and we'll look at my expectations and see if they were accurate. We will start with number 1. A top 10 SEC team will finally lose. We did see that. Alabama going down to Oklahoma. And, of course, the comments were like, well, we're going to see that no matter what with Texas, Georgia. I meant that there would be an upset. A top 10 team would get upset. And so technically 2 top 10 teams lost, but Texas was an underdog against Georgia. But yeah, Alabama going down, that was the big one. And how close were we to getting Texas A&M losing to South Carolina? And even Ole Miss wasn't that far off against Florida. So it was almost a really crazy week in the SEC. But Oklahoma beating Alabama definitely, that shook things up in the playoff race for these SEC teams. All right, next we'll go to the other one. Our number 2 expectation was, I said the Big Ten's Big 3 would keep on rolling. They did. Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, no problem in their games. I said that a ranked Big 12 team will get upset by an unranked team. We saw that with Arizona taking down Cincinnati. That was, I mean, the other ones weren't really close at all. We actually saw blowouts in those games, but we did see Cincinnati go down, and they're probably now eliminated there. Unless, I mean, you never know. If they beat BYU this weekend, maybe they'll have a shot to get in the Big 12 championship. Expect the unexpected in the ACC. Well, Clemson-Louisville was about what we expected, a close game. I don't think anyone saw Virginia going out there and just dominating its Duke. That was a surprise, and I don't think anyone saw Georgia Tech struggling like they did against Boston College. They almost lost that game. So those 2 were definitely unexpected, and even Miami winning the way that they did, the way they've been struggling, I mean, they just put it on NC State. So I think those were 3 games that did not go how we expected, even though the winners maybe weren't that surprising. And then also I said that several top 25 teams will go down. Really didn't see as many as I thought. Let's see if we go through here. Of course, Alabama going down, that was a big one. And again, we're talking about upsets. So obviously USC, or Iowa losing to USC, yeah, a top 25 team is going to lose there no matter what. But yeah, we're talking about upsets. So Alabama was upset. We saw Louisville get upset against Clemson. We saw Pitt not upset, but they lost. Then we saw South Florida get upset. That one I didn't really see coming. And then Cincinnati losing to Arizona. So like four pretty big upsets in the top 25 last week. Not as many as I thought, but man, did we have some close calls. Again, go back to Texas A&M and how close that one was. So it was almost. How about Michigan almost going down to Northwestern? So it was almost a much crazier week than it was. But most of these teams did wind up coming through and getting a win at the end of the day. All right, let's get to Week 13, final week before rivalry weekend, which is the final weekend of the regular season. This college football season's gone by pretty fast. I wouldn't say that it's flown by, but it always goes by fast. So let's get to these expectations. Number 1, calm before the storm in the SEC. I don't think we really see anything crazy in this conference this week. You know, Oklahoma's going to be playing a backup quarterback at home. I think they take care of business in their game. Of course, it's Cupcake Saturday. We got a bunch of teams playing, FCS group of 5 teams. We got Arkansas, Texas. Maybe that one could be interesting. Probably not. Coastal Carolina, South Carolina. Could that one be an upset? Maybe. I mean, probably not. Kentucky, Vanderbilt's interesting to me. Kentucky's been playing a lot better. But I think Vandy probably takes care of business there. And then Tennessee, Florida. You know, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Florida won that game. But that wouldn't really be that big of an upset. I mean, Tennessee's out of the playoff picture. Wouldn't be that big of a deal. So, again, I don't think we see anything crazy. You know, if there is a shocking outcome, it's probably Auburn losing to Mercer or something like that. Just because, I don't know, Mercer's 9-1 at the FCS level. And Auburn, we've seen them kind of struggle this year. Plus, they're, I'm sure, looking ahead to Alabama. So, I mean, we maybe see something like that, but probably not. I think it's going to be a pretty calm week in the SEC. And then we go to the ACC, where I think we're going to have a ton of great games. I think you're going to see, 3 or 4 games come down to the wire. Florida State, NC State, that one should be a pretty close game. Louisville, SMU, I think will be a good game. Then we got Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech. That's kind of the sneaky game of the week almost. I know obviously Oregon, USC is the game of the week, but that's a huge game. Both teams are still alive in the both teams are tied for first in the ACC. So that, I believe I was told that if Georgia Tech wins that game, they're going to clinch a spot in the ACC championship. If they lose, I don't know if Pitt clinches, but Pitt's definitely got to, they're going to be right there. So Well, obviously they don't clinch because they still got to play Miami, but that's a huge game in the ACC. And Pittsburgh winning that game actually is probably what Miami wants. Miami wants to be able to beat Pitt, and then we have Pitt and Georgia Tech with 2 losses. So that's just a huge game that's probably not going to get a ton of attention. Although it is the primetime ESPN game. Big reason why is because the SEC doesn't have many games this week that are any good. But yeah, that is, again, a huge game, and I think we're going to see Louisville SMU is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a fun weekend. Probably the best games to watch this weekend will be the games in the ACC. All right, now we go to go ahead and give you kind of some predictions here. I think Oregon will take care of business at home against USC. USC is a decent team this year. I don't think that they're really ready to compete with Oregon in a game like this at Oregon. Probably a competitive game. Again, not a blowout type game, but I do not see Oregon winning. I think Oregon takes care of business. I think Oregon's actually more likely to lose on the road to Washington next week than they are this week. I just think they're going to get it done. So Ducks over USC. That is my prediction for my expectation for this week. And then I think BYU, they're going to eliminate Cincinnati on their way to the Big 12 championship game. I think a win here. Obviously, Cincinnati is out. BYU, if they were to lose on the final weekend, I don't know what the tiebreakers would look like. Maybe they clinch if they win this game no matter what. They'd obviously have the tiebreaker over Utah. I don't know about the other teams. So this is a chance, again, for BYU to very likely punch their ticket to the Big 12 championship game, and I think they will do that. They were very impressive last week. Cincinnati, a good quality team, but I just don't think they're going to be able to match up here. I think BYU gets it done. And BYU playing with a chip on their shoulder, I don't think they like where they're ranked. I think there is a very good argument for them to be ranked much higher with only the 1 loss and some quality wins on their resume. So I think they come out really, really amped up for this one, and they go on the road and get the win. Actually, I don't even know. I can't remember now where that game's played. Yeah, I think it is. It's at Cincinnati. So that'll be a good one, but I think BYU gets it done. And then my final expectation, I don't think we'll see a lot of upsets this week. Last week I did think we would see a lot. This week I don't think we'll see a lot. I mean, you look through for the potential upsets, and I mean, you got to go all the way down to 7 before you really even get a realistic one. With Oregon playing USC, Oklahoma, Missouri, just don't see that happening. Notre Dame, Syracuse, don't see that happening. BYU, Cincinnati would be an interesting one. That one possible. You never know. Miami's not losing to Virginia Tech, I don't think. You just go down the list. Georgia Tech, Pitt could be an upset there, although the spread's really low on that one. Texas, Arkansas, probably not. Michigan, Maryland is interesting if Michigan's caught looking ahead a little bit, but probably not. Tennessee, Florida, possibly an upset there. Again, you see games where it could happen, but it just seems pretty unlikely. So I think it's going to be a calm week. Again, not just in the SEC, but across the country. It's kind of the calm before the storm, because I believe we're going to see chaos in rivalry weekend next weekend. I think it is going to be crazy. I think we're going to see upsets all over the place, and of course we'll talk about that more next week. But those are my expectations for week 13. Give me your expectations down in the comments below.